Eyes down for the Good morning, folks. It's a beautiful sunny Monday and we're just going to spend a few hours and finish off up here and have a tidy up. Finish putting the tin sheets down there and have a tidy up and cut this area. Rake it off and cut it. So we're finishing the last vestiges of the of what was a pallet of firewood at one time, and there's now just a lot of rotten timber on the ground. I bet there's frogs among it. We'll have to be careful.
You're in your own light.
Yeah, I am. There he is, look. There's one of them. What a beauty. My daughter loves frogs. She'd love that one.
There he goes.
And there he goes, off into the grass. Afternoon, folks. Wednesday. Tuesday I had a day off. I was feeling a bit ropey, thanks to my wonderful virus. And this morning I took my dear daughter back to York to recommence university. So I've just been up at Keith's doing a bit of partitioning in the kennels, and now we're back on the saw. So let's have it belt tensioned, different plug on, and a test. Off we go. Right, folks, the belt is tensioned, the plug is on, we're plugged in. Did I switch it on? Yes, I did. Let's see if she goes. God, isn't that quiet? But is it running the right way? No, it isn't. Let me just check that again. It's running the wrong way. One moment please while I reverse the wires. Well, folks, here we go. What a beautiful quiet saw. It lifts up and switches itself off. The only thing it won't do is go down and cut, which is strange. But I think it means that the cylinder needs adjusting. But I'm not quite sure which way. So it's going to be a matter of trial and error. So you put the feed down, the bow starts to descend, you start the motor, and as soon as you start the motor, it starts to lift its way back up again. And it doesn't ever get far enough down for that to trip that up and start pumping it up again. So I think there's maybe not enough clearance. Look, now you see, watch. Now it should start to lift back up there. So I think that is not depressing that enough. That's not depressing that enough. Right. This is going to take some looking at, but isn't it quiet? Doesn't it shut off well? That bit's working correctly. We put that down, the bow goes down, there's the bow going down again. Now it pumps itself back up again and stops just above where you set it. So that's working beautifully. And it does start to go down as soon as you open that valve. How weird is that? And it cuts out again. You press that down, it's still going up. As though pressing that down isn't moving that down enough. Now it starts to go down again. And up she goes again. I think there isn't sufficient clearance between the two plates, because what that must do is override the pumping effect. That must override the pumping effect until it lifts that lever up, and then it should come back up again. Right, I'm beginning to get the measure of it. Let's have some adjustment done and see if we can make it work. I've got a piece of bar there with a bozzed up end to saw off. Bet it keeps running away from it. You might know. Okay folks, I've made an adjustment to the how are we doing there? I made an adjustment to the cylinder, and now see it lift on the back stroke as well. Quite trip it off. I just need to adjust the stop up. That's what it does. Take two. Let's run that again. Speed on. too high. So I need to slacken that lockness off. Get the idea, folks. Right, it's a matter of adjustment. I'm going to play about with it and then I'll take some more when it's working right. But it's nearly there. Right folks, well that about wraps it up for Wednesday. As you can see, it's running the right way, it's working. So tomorrow I'll probably just finish putting it back together. The job will be a good one. See you later. Morning folks, Thursday. Damson wood is finally cleared. Because that's what we've decided these trees are. They're damsons. Well, not that one, that's obviously a hawthorn, but these are damsons. Because we thought they were bullaces, which are apparently a little round fruit, whereas a damson is an oval fruit, and these are definitely all oval, so this has now become damson wood, and very beautiful it is too. Right, we have in fact completed all of our clearing. I've just moved the last of the plastic sheets, and I think that's going for rubbish, I'm not sure, and we just have the wire to put around the trees, and the fence is whole again. Thank goodness for that, eh? Right, I hope to get back to the workshop today to get some more saw done. I've had a think about it, and I'm thinking of stripping the damper down and checking the all-important 5/64 gap, which regulates the pumping. I think what happens is, with the 5/64 gap and the lever down, the hydraulic pumping is overcome by the weight of the saw, and it cuts. As soon as it gets to the bottom, it flicks the feed lever up to the neutral position, the 5/64 gap closes, and the hydraulic action of the ram pumps the hydraulic fluid back up and lifts the saw out of the cut. So I've got that to do, and I've also got the free play on the actual bore of the saw to adjust the gibs again. And I put some oil in last night, so if there's oil all over the floor this morning, we know that my little Allen screw plate with the cork gasket is leaking. But I hope there isn't. In actual fact, I've been to the workshop and I forgot to look. So there you go. So maybe there isn't oil all over the floor. Maybe it hasn't leaked. It shouldn't have leaked, certainly. But I know that's a big dark cloud, but it's given fine again for today. And it's really beautiful. Really beautiful. It's very peaceful up here. Very peaceful. Right, I'm going to go and do something. I'll bring you back when I am doing. And here we are, folks. in Damson wood, as it's called, with the wire up, just to stop dogs getting through in both directions. And there it is. And that marks, as I try to get out the woods without walking into the trees, that marks the end of the fence. Because we've blocked all the holes up underneath. We've got rid of all the bricks and the rubble doing that. We've put wire around that tree. And we've got our metal stored down there. So there we go. And now, what a glorious day again. What a glorious day it is. So there we are. And now it's coffee time. And tomorrow, it's workshop time. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye now. Well folks, Friday, and I've had an enormously frustrating few hours trying to get this usually totally reliable and bulletproof Honda engine to run smoothly. And it bloody won't. I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. I have stripped the carburetor, cleaned it spotless, rebuilt it, and all it does is hunt on the governor. Just revs up and slows down, and revs up and slows down, and revs up and slows down. I've managed to make it run at tick over, but it's pretty bloody awful. And I'm stumped. It's one of those. I bought this off a mate, and it ran beautifully. That's why I bought it, because I had to repair the body of the mower, but it ran beautifully. And it ran for 3 seasons fine. And I got it started one season, and it just hunted backwards and forwards. And I coped with it, and I used it. I cut all my grass, which hasn't been cut for ages. And I thought I'll look at that. So the next year I stripped it down, stripped the carburetor, which was a first, never been touched before. It's not one of those silly diaphragm carburetors. It's an ordinary carburetor with a float chamber and a float in it, and fixed jets, and very little adjustment. Almost impossible to get to adjust. The adjusting screws are down there somewhere, if you can see them. It's virtually impossible to see them, and even harder to get to them. But it's built by the impossible to fit carburetor company, because you have to thread the bolts through all the gaskets, through the tin plate, through the heat separator, and through the air cleaner body to put it all together. You've also got to get the drop the double bend linkages on to both the throttle and the choke at the same time. But I've sort of worked out a way to do it by putting 2 long dummy studs in with no heads on, and then assembling it, or getting the links on, assembling it, all the gaskets, and then taking out the dummy studs and putting the air cleaner on. But what a faff. And I'll start it up and I'll show you what it does. There you go. That's it. That's maximum throttle. That's no throttle. Maximum throttle, go. So who knows? Who knows what's wrong with it? I'm sure I don't. But it ran, it used to tick over like a little mouse, and then you opened it up and it revved up and off you went. It's a driven one, it's got driven wheels, pull the drive in and off you went, and you know, just cut all day long. And now I just can't fathom it at all. These things are so frustrating. Why don't they make things that you can service anymore, like, you know, that are simple, like Briggs and Stratton engines? You know, you tear them to pieces, you clean them all out, you put them back together and off they go. You know, and I got really used to Honda engines being dead reliable, and I just cannot. If anybody out there has got any ideas at all, please let me know in the comments, because I want to go and cut my garden. In fact, I'm going to go and cut my garden now, and it'll do it. I know it'll do it. But what an annoying bloody thing. Right, I'm going to pack up here, I'm going to chuck it in the back of the truck, and I'll go and cut my garden with it. Just to say, I've got no more done on this, although it's almost there. I've got to put the tin covers on. I just realised I haven't painted the top of that, which will need to be painted because it is the top and not the bottom. Or is it? No, it isn't. It's inside. That's the bit that needs to be painted, and it is. That bit's inside. That's just keeps oil off the belt. So this is now going to be a job for next week, I think, to finish this. But it's all running very smoothly and very quietly, and I'm pleased about that. I'm pleased about that, because this is now going to go for sale, because I have no use for it. It's a bit big and heavy for me. The Rapido I can pull out when I want to use it and put it back when I want to use it, and I've also got that wonderful Johnny Johnson Rapido stand with it as well, so I'm not getting rid of that. So this one's going. This one's going to go. Oh, and it hasn't leaked oil. Good show. It hasn't leaked oil. No, it hasn't. So my little plate with the gasket on it has sealed it perfectly. I do need to adjust that. Just a little bit, I think. But she does go well. Shall we just have a play? Look at that. See, it's not. Oh, see, that does fed down. It's marvellous, isn't it? Put that down. Press start. Isn't it quiet? And once it's cut through, it goes back up and switches off again. Amazing. Qualters and Smith of Summer Lane, Barnsley built that. What a piece of kit. Right, I'm going to go and cut my grass. I'll take you with me. That's it, folks. I've had enough. There we go, folks. End of the day. Rough but slow. Looks better though. Strimmer needed next. Strimmer and get rid of this bastard thing. Somehow or other. Dig it up and cut the roots maybe. I don't know. It was a big lay land, it was higher than the house. Isabel used to climb it. There you go. Laterers.